welcome into Texans Today. I'm your host, Jeremy Chuggs, on a lovely Valentine's Day morning, talking a little bit about some trade rumors and whether or not I would love to trade for Haason Reddick or Brandon Aiyuk. That coming up on today's show. Got a jam-packed one for you, but first, I got to know, what's your most memorable Texans game of all time? The one that, in your mind, when you think about it, you're like, damn, that is why I love the Texans. Go down and let me know down in the comments section the most memorable Texans game of all time. For me, it's the very first playoff game at Reliant NRG, whatever you want to call it, against the Cincinnati Bengals. That was an absolute, the house was on fire. The whole city of Houston was pumped up for that. We were ready for that first playoff game. J.J. Watt pick six, the Yates of hell. That was an absolute, all-time game for the Houston Texans. For me, that would be my answer. Let me know down in the comment section what your most memorable game of all time for the Texans is right now. Let's talk about it. Brandon Aiyuk. Could the Texans trade for the 49ers wide receiver after he showed a little bit of displeasure with the 49ers following Super Bowl 58? And don't take my word for it. Take Ayuk's best friend, brother, I guess. He said, this is the exact reason why we leave in San Francisco. Thank you, 49ers, for drafting my brother. We are forever grateful. Said BA to Vegas? Why does the All-Pro that had 1,300 receiving yards only have 3 catches in the Super Bowl? Which, is a fair question, And also, not just his best friend, but also his girlfriend chiming in, saying, it might be the last time we step foot at Levi's because we might not be here next year. That directly from Brandon Aiyuk's girlfriend on X the other day, which is a little puzzling. He fits really well with San Francisco. They drafted him. Obviously, he has a good rapport with Brock Purdy. He had a great season this year under Kyle Shanahan. And I wonder if he's thinking, you know what? I like this offense, but I want to do it somewhere else where maybe that's the Houston Texans and Bobby Slowick. Same offense, same coaching tree, but maybe just a little bit different, environment. And possibly, I'm not even going to say possibly, definitely a much better quarterback, in my opinion, with C.J. Stroud over Brock Purdy. But the main question is, what's going to be the cost? What would it take for the Texans to get Aiuk in the red and blue next season? And word is, it's going to be around a first-round pick, a late first-round pick, and you'd have to extend him, and he's looking for a deal around the ballpark of $20 million a year. So with all that in mind, let me know down in the comments section. Should the Texans trade for Brandon Aiyuk this offseason? You be the GM. You be Nick Caserio. Let me know down in the comment section. This is actually going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So you get hit with the YouTube ad break. Perfect timing. Just go down there and answer today's pinned question. I would say no for a first rounder. If it's a second, then I would lean more towards yes for that. But for me, the Texans have more holes to fill than wide receiver. They have Nico Collins. They have Tank Dell. Would I love Brandon Aiyuk in this offense? Do I think he would fit perfectly and make this Texans offense way more dynamic? Of course I do. Look at his numbers the past 4 seasons. This past year, over 1,300 yards, 7 touchdowns. Last year, eclipsed 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, has gotten better each and every year with the San Francisco 49ers. And looking at his advanced statistics from this year, yards per catch, second at 17.9. Yards per target, second at 12.8. A PFF wide receiver grade of 91.5. This dude was on fire this season. But for the Texans, for a first-round pick, I don't know if I would do that. I would say a second-round pick, I would think about it. I would more likely pull the trigger, but for a first-round pick, I think the Texans have more holes in their defense and roster holes that they need to fill rather than another wide receiver to go along with Tank Dell and Nico Collins. Now, coming up, we're going to talk about another trade. Hassan Reddick. Could the Eagles defensive end be heading to H-Town? I'll break that down in just a moment, but before I do, Yes, you. Did you forget about Valentine's Day? Did you? It's okay. I got your back. I have a foolproof plan for you right here. Go to chatsports.com/TexansJersey. Order your loved one a jersey. If guy, girl, whatever, they have every single kind of jersey, every single kind of style, men's, women's, whatever fit you want. Go get a jersey today, print out the receipt, and blame it on FedEx. That's what I do. Just say, hey, the shipping messed up. I have your Texans jersey right here. It's coming on the way today. So go get your Texans jersey, chatsports.com/Texans jersey. Get it today with our friends over at Fanatics and tell your loved one, hey, it's not my fault. It's UPS. It's the mail's fault. And then give them their lovely Texans jersey in a couple weeks whenever you get it in the mail. Now, going on to our next story of the day, could the Texans trade for defensive end Hassan Reddick? The rumor mill's been going around with this, but there has been conflicting reports over the past couple of days whether or not Reddick will be leaving the city of brotherly love. This is what Ian Rappaport had to say just a couple days ago. He said, sources, #Eagles All-Pro edge rusher Hassan Reddick has received permission to seek a trade following another disruptive season featuring double-digit sacks. The 29-year-old with 27 sacks over 2 seasons in Philly could land elsewhere. So you're thinking, okay, Hassan Reddick's on the move. The Eagles are basically pushing him out the door saying, go find a trade. We're allowing you to go look at a trade. Go ahead, but not so fast, sweetheart. Jordan Schultz coming in just yesterday saying this. Just spoke to Eagles All-Pro pass rusher Hassan Reddick, who tells me he never requested a trade and wants to stay in Philadelphia. I would like to get an extension done here at home. At no point did I ever tell the organization I want to be traded. Reddick has 1 year left on his deal with no guaranteed money left. This is home for me. I was born and raised here. 2 of the most fun years playing football in my life came here. I've cherished being an Eagle. That's straight from Hassan Reddick via Jordan Schultz. And that leads me to this question for you. Will he stay or will he go? Hassan Reddick, is he going to stay in Philly or is he going to leave? What do you think? Some conflicting reports here. Sounds like a lot has to do with the money, whether or not the Eagles are going to pay him, extend him, is really going to make his choice of whether he's going to go seek a trade. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Type S for stay, type L for leave. What will Hassan Reddick do with the Eagles this offseason? At the end of the day, I think he's going to stay. I think this is just a leverage for a new contract for him. I think, all these reports coming out is just kind of like what was said prior. He has no guaranteed money left, and he's trying to get paid coming off 2 excellent seasons with the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, 2 of his better years in his career. And as we look at his stats over the past 4 seasons, 11 sacks this past year, 16 sacks the year before. He has 4 straight seasons with double-digit sacks. He has been a terror in Philadelphia for opposing quarterbacks. And I think, 29-year-old, he's still in the prime of his career, could show a lot of promise for a young team like the Texans with a young pass rusher like Will Anderson. Could he pair nicely and really form a nice 1-2 pass rush duo for the Texans moving forward? I really think so. I think Hassan Reddick fits with what the Texans want to do, and if the Eagles aren't willing to pay him, the Texans, they have enough money to pay him. And this is the PFF trade idea that came through the woodworks. It was the Eagles receive a 2nd-round pick, and the Texans receive Hassan Reddick and a 5th-round pick. Now, this is an interesting trade idea. But at the end of the day, rather than give up a 2nd-round pick and pay somebody who's 29, possibly, top-end money at the edge rusher position, defensive end position, I would much rather, if I'm the Texans, re-sign Jonathan Greenard. He had the best year up to date in a contract year. He's younger. He's homegrown talent. We've already shown that he fits in this D'Amico Ryan system. Why not stick with Jonathan Greenard? I would really rather try to get him. Now, if a team's going to go out there and break the bank for Jonathan Greenard and make him a top 5 paid pass rusher in this league, then yeah, I would let him walk. But if he's just looking for a top 10, top 15 contract and the Texans can lock him up, I'd much rather go with Greenard rather than give up draft capital and have to extend Hassan Reddick. That's just me. I would much rather go with Greenard and stay with the young kind of core that the Texans have rather than go out and get a veteran like Hassan Reddick. That's just me. But that's all I have for you on today's video. If you haven't already, follow me on X at Jeremy Chuggs, giving you the latest Texans news and rumors, NFL news and rumors, the dankest memes on the internet. Go ahead and follow me. It's going to be in the comment section and description of today's video. And if you haven't already, go hit that subscribe button right now. We're bringing you Texans news and rumors every single day this offseason, leading into free agency, leading into the 2024 NFL draft. We are the fastest growing Texans channel on YouTube, and this is my promise to you. Hit that subscribe button. If you don't like it in a week, you can unsubscribe. But let me earn your subscription and show you why we are the #1 Texans YouTube channel out there. Thank you guys, and have a good day.